Hello and welcome back to Typical City. Manchester City 3, Burnley 1. Not the most scintillating performance in truth, but it didn't really matter in the end because we won the game and we are at that end of the season now. We are approaching the, as they say, business end of the season where results are all that matter at the end of the day. The performance wasn't great. If we play like that against better opposition, we might not come away with 3 points. That's the lesson that may need to be learned, taken away from last night's game against Burnley. But I thought we punished them, vitally so. I thought they defended reasonably well for the majority of the game, but there was just 3 vital moments where they switched off and it cost them. We punished them. And good, it's good to see that we can do that to teams where we don't quite play at our best, but we can punish them nonetheless if they make mistakes, and they did. So pleased overall. Let's have a quick look at the match stats. Actually, before I get onto the match stats and the player ratings, I wanted to thank everybody. First of all, as well, like and subscribe if you're new to this channel. Please drop a like and subscribe. And I also wanted to thank everyone that joined me for the watch along yesterday, because I have been away for a little while for numerous reasons that we got into as well. But it was so great talking to everyone in the watch along yesterday. I mean, what we got onto was ridiculous. I mean, absolutely mental. Rat infestations, battle of the fruits. What is the greatest fruit of all time? And bramble getting wrapped around your knob and ending up with an itchy knob. I mean, what didn't we talk about? I mean, what did not we talk? I mean, Manchester City came up once in a while as well. We spoke about them every now and again because they were playing a football match and we spoke about that. But I don't think we'll be afforded that opportunity against Brentford because I think that's going to be a much tougher game. So daft conversations after going 3-0 up probably won't be able to take place against Brentford. But nonetheless, still come and join me for the Brentford game. I will be doing a watch along for that. Looking forward to it next Monday night. Should be good. But again, thank you everybody that joined me. Really, really good. Match stats. Pretty dominant in the possession side of things, as to be expected against Burnley, 74% to their 26. What leaps out to me in these match stats, though, is the XG is pretty low from a City point of view. And I think that echoes to the fact that it was quite a first third and second third from Manchester City's perspective, it's sort of game. I thought defensively, and the numbers back that up as well. I'll show you the player stats from our defenders as well. Distribution was really good. We had no problem getting out. Their press wasn't that good. Non-existent, if anything. It was more of a halfway line, mid-press, wasn't it? But we were able to break the lines and get into midfield, no problem. I thought Nunes, Rodri, our central midfielders, and De Bruyne, no problem again. I thought they were decent. They were able to turn, find pockets. I thought we lacked creativity on the wings, though. I thought Doku and Foden struggled with end product. And finding space as well was difficult, in particular for Foden. And I'll get onto individual players in a minute. But 14 shots to their 8, 4 shots on target for City to their 3. 1.76 XG for City and 1.44 for Burnley. So we outperformed and overperformed really with the XG. 2 big chances each. 795 passes to their 270. 3 fouls. They got aggressive though in the second half, didn't they? I think they could sense they were still in this game. And there was frustration creeping into their game that they weren't just able to get the ball. And I think they decided in the last 15 minutes that Burnley, right, we're going to win. We're going to try and scrape a draw out of this game. Let's go for it now. But they couldn't get the ball. The pattern of play had already set. It was set in stone for the rest of the game. And we were just dominating the ball from pretty much minute 1 to minute 90. And that crept in, and the majority of their fouls were committed in the final 20 minutes of the game due to frustration of not being able to impose their game plan of trying to get back into the game late in final 20 minutes. But 2 yellow cards each with no red cards either. Now, Ederson, player ratings, a quiet game as to be expected, but he's got to be coming away furious that he's conceded a goal. Through no fault of his own, mind you, but I mean, it's just frustrating again to not get a clean sheet in a game that just screamed Manchester City clean sheet. It's gutting to not get one. It really is. 43 touches, that's reasonably high, typical from Manchester City, playing out from the back. Really good, 94% long ball accuracy, pretty much on point, 3 out of 4. 2 saves, they were both right at him, so both very savable. And 1 high claim, 6.5 for Ederson. Gvardiol, I'm really gutted to be giving him a 6.5. He was seconds away from getting a 7. Seconds. I'm going to jump straight to that dribbled past. because it's done it again. I've been a big critic of him this season, and I still have high hopes for him. I really believe next season we'll see the best of him. It's just so frustrating, that goal. He was beaten too easily down the right wing, and it came through him getting dribbled past with ease. It looked easy, just knock it past him and burst past him. He seems to be beaten with pace quite easily, alarmingly so. And there was no Kyle Walker on the pitch today, so I'm not sure who we're going to blame for the goal going in the back of the net. Because if he was on the pitch, it would have been Kyle Walker's fault, no two ways about it. But he wasn't on the pitch, so I don't know who we're going to blame. But anyway, other than that, he played well, Gvardiol. He played really well. I thought he was decent. I thought his ball retention was good. His defending, when called upon, was good, other than that one moment. But we're in the business end of the season now, where those moments matter. Against other opposition, that moment could kill us. It could have been 2-1, and we end up coming away with a point. It could have been a completely different scenario. Thankfully, it didn't matter. But we've got to get that cut out of his game, that ease it is to beat him one-on-one at times. But other than that, he was decent. 120 touches, 96% passing accuracy, a tackle, 2 interceptions, 2 dribble attempts, both successful. Ground duels, won 4 out of 7. Not a bad game for Gvardiol, other than that one moment. Nathan Ake could say the same, really, minus the fact that he doesn't make those mistakes. He's pretty impeccable, isn't he? Nathan Ake, he's so reliable. Again, very rarely called upon, but when he was, answers the questions. 115 touches, 95% passing accuracy, a tackle, a clearance, 1 aerial duel, 1 out of the 3, 1 attempted dribble, it was successful, and he won 3 out of 3 ground duels. That's just Nathan Ake. Best defender at the club right now, hands down. I mean, I was saying it last year. It seems like City fans are saying it this year. I was saying it last year. The guy's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. 7 out of 10 for Nathan Ake. Good to see John Stones back as well. Really pleased to see him back and get through the full 90 minutes unscathed. Really good news for that. 113 touches, and you can see it again. This passing accuracy, the number of touches going back to Nathan Ake. What did he have? 115 touches. John Stones 113 touches. Gvardiol 120 touches. So that's what I was talking about. In the first third, no problem. The distribution was great. A lot of the build-up play was good. So on the ball from our defenders, really, really good at getting out into midfield. It's there where it started to lackluster a little bit and be a bit, we didn't quite penetrate their defensive lines once we got into the second third and the final third. But defensively, distribution was really, really good. 3 aerial duels, all 3 were won. 2 clearances, 2 block shots. He was dribbled past once, so if I'm going to criticise Gvardiol, I've got to criticise John Stones for getting beaten. Wasn't impactful, thankfully. But 2 ground duels and he won 1. John Stones, welcome back. Really, we're going to need him for this final stretch of the season. 7 out of 10 for him. Rico Lewis, I've given him another 6.5, and I really feel a bit harsh about that, to be honest. But he was just a bit loosey-goosey in the final third. Now, if you're Gvardiol or John Stones or Nathan Ake and you're giving the ball away, which they didn't, in our first third of the game, in the defensive areas where it's so dangerous to do that, that's what we can't afford. Rico Lewis didn't do that at all. He was asked to get forward a lot more than any of our other defenders, though, and he was a bit sloppy. In particular, in that first half, there were some really loose passes from Rico Lewis in the final third. It's not that big a deal losing the ball in the final third. I mean, we were susceptible here and there to a counter-attack. Thankfully, Lyle Foster and Ad Mooney didn't punish us and Odebert as well. They had numerous counter-attacking opportunities, a couple that came from Rico Lewis giving it away in the final third, and we weren't punished for it, and they were wasteful with their counter-attacking, the few that they had opportunities. Just a little bit loose with the ball, Rico Lewis in the final third, but other than that, again, decent. He was all right. 89 touches, 88% passing accuracy, 2 tackles, interception, a clearance, 4 out of 6 ground duels, 1. So defensively, sound as a pound. But he lost the ball 10 times, of which the majority was in the final third. 6.5 for Rico Lewis. Bordering on harsh a little bit, that one. Rodri. Got his goal, brilliantly taken, fantastic finish. It wasn't too dissimilar to the Champions League winning goal against Inter Milan. That was just really similar how he came onto it, a little bit Lampard-esque, arriving late into the penalty area. This time it was just outside the area, set up nicely by Phil Foden, and he whips it. He uses the defender that was in front of him, I think it was O'Shea or Ekdal, I can't remember, and he just whips it round him into that bottom corner, very similar to that Champions League goal. Lovely finish. It's just a decent performance, solid in midfield from Rodri again, typically assured. 123 touches, 87% passing accuracy, a key pass, 1 out of 2 dribbles were successful, a tackle, 4 out of 6 ground duels. A bit loose with the ball, 16 times he gave the ball away, but he got his goal, 7.5 for Rodri. Good performance. Matteo Nunes, I'm really liking this guy. I mean, rock and roll, isn't he? He's all wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. I think we're going to see some mad performances from Nunes this season because he just grabs the game by the scruff of the neck, doesn't he? I love it. He's got this turn of pace that I had no awareness that he had in his locker. The ability to turn so quickly. He spins his man. When he's got a man on his back, he spins him brilliantly. And then that burst of speed that he's got, I had no idea that his acceleration was quite like that. It's brilliant, brilliant. Got himself an assist as well. Really good assist as well, because he was trying to cut the ball back to Gvardiol. That was intercepted. He didn't panic. He didn't whip it in thinking, oh crap, I've got the ball back, and whip it in first time. He got the ball and thought, composed himself, did a little feint with his right foot, cut it back onto his left foot, saw Álvarez, free as a bird, dinks it into the box. Easy as that for Álvarez, nods it in to make it 1-0. Really intelligent performance from Matteo Nunes, and very aggressive as well. And I think that aggression is going to come with numbers that make him give the ball away a lot. You know, as you can see there, the possession lost 16 times, quite a few times. And I think you're going to get that with Nunes because the way he plays the game is so aggressive that you're going to see numbers where he gives that ball away and he seems a bit loose with it. But the damage that he can cause by being so aggressive, it's the give and take, isn't it? It's the risk and reward for his style of football. And last night it was very much reward, and the risk we didn't need to worry about the risk too much because Burnley weren't really offering too much going the other way, thankfully. But yeah, 8 out of 10 for Matteo Nunes is fully deserved. 88% passing accuracy, 4 key passes, brilliant. 2 shots, one of which was on target, an absolute rasper in the first half. Unlucky not to get a goal in that situation. Cut it onto his right and tried to whip it into that far corner. Good save from Trafford. 2 dribbles, both of which were successful. 12 ground duels. There's your regression again. Getting stuck in, just flying into tackles. Only 6 were won, but still, the fact that he's there, making these ground duels, really good. 8 out of 10 for Matteo Nunes. Looking forward to seeing what he can do for the rest of the season. Really looking forward to it. Phil Foden, I thought he was just very quiet, really. Ineffective. Quiet. I think maybe, was he gutted the first start, really, with Kevin De Bruyne starting in the starting 11 for Manchester City. Straight into the middle. Phil Foden, mate, you've been playing central for the majority of this season. Sorry, mate. KDB's back. You've got to go out on the right wing, and I thought it affected his performance. He couldn't quite get involved. I thought he was nullified pretty well by Burnley's tactics. He got himself an assist, but I mean it was a simple layoff to Rodri. It's still an assist at the end of the day, had to be made. He laid it on a plate for Rodri, so good assist. But other than that, a really quiet performance from Phil Foden. Comes off in the 76th minute as well. 56 touches, 84% passing accuracy, a key pass, 2 shots, none on target, 2 ground duels, didn't win any of them. No dribble attempts whatsoever, and he lost the ball at 11 times. 6.5 for Phil Foden. Hopefully we can see a bit more from him. Maybe in the middle. I'd like to see him alongside, because it would sacrifice Nunes, and Nunes played brilliantly centrally. But I mean, I personally would like to see Foden alongside De Bruyne in the long term, and push maybe Bernardo Silva out wide instead. But 6.5 for Phil Foden. Kevin De Bruyne, he's just a class act, isn't he? He really is. That pass, man, just to Álvarez, straight off the training ground. You could see the reaction of the City staff as well as the players. They all knew that was just a masterful plan that I don't think I gave enough credit to it yesterday. I still believe that Burnley should be switched on better than that. They shouldn't be so flat-footed. And with Kevin De Bruyne on a free kick, you have to suspect the worst. You have to. You have to assume worst case scenario with Kevin De Bruyne, and he fulfilled that worst case scenario with that pass, because they were all expecting a little dink over to that back post for Gvardiol, Rodri, and they were all holding their hands in the air, making it seem like we're going to get this ball, tricking the defenders, and Álvarez's run just cons every single Burnley player. I mean, every fan in the ground, anyone watching across the world will have seen that and not expected that, but you have to expect that with Kevin De Bruyne. 73 touches, 88% passing accuracy, a key pass, 3 shots, none on target, didn't have his shooting boots on, but he did create a big chance, won 4 out of 7 ground duels, got himself that vital assist. Brilliant performance, really. I thought Kevin De Bruyne, just that goal, that assist alone has bumped his score up. Other than that, it would have been probably a 7.5, but 8 out of 10 for Kevin De Bruyne is good. Really good to see him back. Jeremy Doku, a mad performance. It's just that end product, isn't it? Look at these numbers, man. Like 73 touches, 86% passing accuracy, 9 dribble attempts, of which 6 were successful. Brilliant. 4 key passes. Brilliant. 17 ground duels, of which 10 were won. That's tenacity at its finest. That aggression, you're going to see the same bracket as Nunes, because he's so aggressive. He's going to lose the ball a lot, as you can see with the possession loss. But it is that end product that's bugging me with his game at the minute. I don't think he had a single shot in the game. Not that, if I remember rightly, I haven't put the stats on if I have, but the issue is the end product with Jeremy Doku at the minute, because as you can see, that game should have had a Jeremy Doku assist or a goal. The way he played, he was a constant pest, and the 3 crosses, none were accurate. I want to see a little bit more precision and better decision making, because there was moments in that final 20 minutes of the game when Haaland was on the pitch, Doku was bursting from the left, centralising himself, getting in through the middle, right through the spine of Burnley's defence, and he had, I think it was Nunes tried a little pass through to Nunes. That ball wasn't that was such a difficult ball that even Nunes sort of didn't even want it. It was a decoy run that created the space for Erling Haaland, and he could have just laid in Erling Haaland, who had a good 3 or 4 yard avenue to thread him through. And it's those little moments where he just needs to cool his jets, just relax the muscles and slot that ball through, get the eyes open, get that peripheral, use your eyes, mate, and get that ball through to him. It's just a silly little ball, and that happened again about 5 minutes later. He just needs to be a little bit more precise with his decision making, but his ability to get into dangerous positions, there's no one in the Premier League like him right now. These numbers are ridiculous. 9 dribbles, of which 6 were successful. He's got a frightening ability to get into dangerous positions, and if he can just work on that end product, then we've got an absolute worldie on our hands. But 7.5 for Jeremy Doku. Decent, could have been better. Álvarez, 87 minutes, 24 touches, 80% passing accuracy, no key passes, 2 shots, both go in the back of the net, a clearance, 1 ground duel, none didn't win it, 9 times he lost the ball. They're Erling Haaland numbers. They are exactly the sort of numbers that I've been putting on the board for Erling Haaland. He gets a man of the match because he won the game for us, really. Without his goals, it would have been a 1-1 draw. He wins the game for us. But he was crowded out by Burnley's defence. I thought they were very deep, and they surrounded him really well. They kept him quiet till they didn't. You know what I mean? They kept him quiet until he's popping up in dangerous positions and putting it into the back of the net. Really good that he's able to do that, showing the other side of his game that we saw a lot more of last season. This season, he's been asked to be a little bit more creative, showing a little bit more guile and intelligence, and trying to fill the void that Kevin De Bruyne left behind. And he did a great job of it. No one can fill that void of Kevin De Bruyne, in truth. Not in our squad right now, at least. But the attempt that he made in the first half of the season, he did a great job. Now we're seeing that other side of his game just being the focal point, the striker, and he absolutely delivered in that regard. Brilliant finish from Kevin De Bruyne. I mean, he couldn't really miss the first one, but the positioning was fantastic, right in between the 2 centre-backs, nodded in to make 1-0. The finish for the free kick from De Bruyne, great finish again. Man of the match has to be Erling Haaland. I'm just so glad he's back. So glad he's back. But that was 19 minutes of football I think he would like to forget, to be honest. Because, 8 touches, 75% passing accuracy, no key passes, 2 aerial duel attempts, of which he won 1. 2 shots, absolutely atrocious. One of them one of them's probably not even considered a shot because he didn't even connect with it. So that's 1 LOL. That's officially a new stat that I'm going to give for Erling Haaland. That's one LOL for that absolute whiffer. Swing and a miss. He was laughing at himself. I mean, you had to in that situation. You're thinking, here we go. Oh, he's cut it back onto his left foot. This is going in. It's going to be the headline. Haaland's back. Whiff. Complete whiffer. Absolutely. He's lucky I don't give him a 5.5 for that. That would have been a bit harsh, to be fair. And he only lost the ball twice. 6 for Erling Haaland. I think that was him just a little bit of rust, a little bit of cobwebs. Get those cobwebs off you. And hopefully he'll probably start against Brentford and hopefully get himself a goal as well. Sergio Gomez came on, 9 minutes of football, 4 touches, 100% passing accuracy. This seems to be his career at Manchester City now, coming on for little cameos in games that are already won. I think we could probably see a little bit more of him if we played lesser teams in cup games and things like that, but I'm not sure Pep would trust him in any game in the Premier League from a starting point at least. One cross, wasn't successful. Not much to talk about. 6 out of 10 for Sergio Gomez. Same can be said about Jack Grealish in terms of impact, but we certainly will be expecting him to start a few games this season, for the rest of the season at least. 14 minutes played, 7 touches, 83% passing accuracy, 0s in all the columns, and he lost the ball once. Again, not much to talk about. Same for Matteo Ktic, who I think I'm glad to see Nunes and Kovacic, because last against Spurs, I thought Kovacic was really good. I thought he was really, really good against Kovacic, and now we've seen Nunes come on start the game against Burnley. Same again, we've got 2 transfer signings that have come in, 2 new players that are both starting to shine in the Manchester City midfield, and it gives us options for the second half of this season, and it's fantastic news that Kovacic comes out, Nunes comes in. Having Kovacic just played so well against Spurs, Nunes comes in. Same standards were being met. Brilliant, really good news. Kovacic, 9 minutes of football, 19 touches, 100% passing accuracy. 1 ground duel, he didn't win it. 2 possession times where the ball was lost. 6 out of 10 for Matteo Kovacic, and that completes the player ratings. Again, massive thank you to everyone that joined me in the watch along. I did drop the watch along quite late. It was like an hour before kickoff, so didn't really give you much warning to let you know that I was even doing a watch along. But those that turned up as well, it was good to see such a good turnout. And the conversations got a bit wild. It got a bit mad in there. And hopefully we can have some enjoyable streams for the rest of the season. So come and join me for Brentford. It's going to be a good one. Really looking forward to the rest of the season now. It's going to be epic. Klopp leaving, that pressure as well as motivation. You can look at it from 2 ways from Liverpool's perspective. Arsenal, they are not done fighting for this title. City, we know what to do. It's business as usual for Manchester City in the second half of the season. Get in the comments below. I want to hear your thoughts regarding the player ratings. Who stood out for you, if anyone? Who stood out for you in a negative sense, in a positive sense? Get your comments in below. I really want to hear them. Like and subscribe. Typical City is the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.
This is typical City now, holding up silver.